My blue pango shivers happily. He splits into a wide grin. My name's Pango. Oh. 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 No, that's not what he said. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome back to Crystalline. It's been such a long time, I know. I've just been very busy. Very busy. But anyway, let's crack on. Well, I want to get this game completed soon, because it's taking far too long. Anyway, after a well-rested night, we wake up bright and early for another full day of travel. Ooh, we're still there. My legs ache by the time we make it out of the mountains, and they're aching even more traveling towards Costa Curro. Oh. It's hard to walk through the sand with our boots and supplies, but we make good time and eventually returned to the beach city. Sweet. Is it a beach episode? I don't know. The sun lowers over the ocean in the distance, smearing the sky in pinks and purples. Golden light sparkles across the waves. I wish we had time for another visit to the beach. Nobody pays us any attention as we return to the inn. We plop down at one of the tables, exhausted. My stomach grumbles. I'm starving.
I'm pretty hungry myself. I'll go get us some food.
I'm not hungry. I just ate. I had a pizza.
Please let me assist you.
Ooh. As they stand to their feet, a voice stops them.
Excuse me, miss.
We pause and turn around. A young man stands from one of the nearby tables and rushes over to us. As he gets closer, I can see he's wearing a blue uniform with a mailbag strapped across his chest. He squints at Leanna, then lets out a deep sigh of relief.
Oh, thank goodness. I found you.
She's my waifu. Don't touch her. Don't look at her. She is above your pay grade. Leanna's brows knit with concern.
Can I help you?
He nods, face flushed with excitement.
I've been trying to catch up to you for days.
For days!
Days?
I missed you in Illumia. Someone said they saw your group head towards Costa Coral, so I made my way here. And after searching all day, all over town, I couldn't find you.
It makes you wonder how the mailman in Skyrim knows where to go. Because that guy can find you anywhere. I mean, he's pretty good at his job. This guy can learn a few things. He groans, his hands flying up into his hair.
The next day, someone pointed in the direction they thought they saw you guys heading. So I kept traveling and asking for directions. I followed them as best I could, but I got lost.
He sucks in a deep breath, his voice becoming higher, faster, and more distressed with every word.
There was absolutely nothing there but mountains, so I came back to Costa Coral. I decided that tomorrow morning I'd just go back to Illumia and see if you showed up. But then I saw you guys, and...
He exhales loudly, then rustles inside his bag.
Here.
He extends a scroll out to Leanna. It's sealed shut with a royal blue wax. There's a sigil of a sunrise on it. Leanna freezes. His voice is hopeful and strained.
You are Leanna Dawn, correct?
Her face goes pale.
Yes?
I frown. What is it about the scrolls that got her looking so cautious? The courier lets out a breath of relief.
Right. I'll be on my way then.
He gives us a low bow and leaves. Leanna's hands shake as she breaks the seal and unravels the scroll. After she finished reading, she looks solemn. What is it?
It's a letter from my parents.
Oh, your parents? Dun dun. Leanna nods as she scans the page again. She looks up at us with worried eyes.
Sounds urgent. I have to go back home. What's going on?
Leanna shakes her head.
I don't know. I've never gotten a letter to go back home before. So it must be serious.
I'm just gonna skip all the head nods, the nodding, the head shaking, because this game really likes to say, and this person nods his head. She nods back. And it's just a bit overkill with the nodding. See? See what I mean? Except for this time, she nods firmly.
I'll go with you.
Liana, screw these stupid descriptions.
What about Void?
Void will still be there waiting for us. Void isn't going anywhere. They can wait. Nothing is more important than your well-being, and it sounds like your family really needs you right now.
That's right.
We go where you go.
Exactly. Where exactly would we be going?
Hearthdawn.
Hearthdawn? Where's that?
That is where the celestial mountain ranges are located.
Oh, you're a celestial. Ooh.
Perhaps we could acquire the extract of spirit flower while we are there.
That sounds like you are trying to create a adult beverage.
Oh, that's pretty rare. It'd be a good find.
As the group chat excitedly amongst themselves, Leanna remains quiet. I nudge her. You okay? She nods and smiles at me, but her smile doesn't reach her eyes. My stomach twists with worry. I've never seen Leanna act like this. Whatever's happening, I'm sure everything will be okay.
Poi poi.
Poi poi indeed. He wobbles over to her and nuzzles against her boot. Her face cracks with a small smile. She bends down and picks him up, hugging the pango tight to her chest. That lucky pango.
You're right. Thank you.
Poi poi.
The pango's voice is soft and concerned. It looks more like Leanna is hugging him for comfort instead of her usual fits of excitement over his cuteness.
In any case, it's getting late.
Agreed. Oh, I'm getting a bit sleepy.
Don't know, that's like the worst thing. It's the most contagious thing in the world. Honestly, yawning sucks. We slowly get up from our table. Kara secures a couple of rooms for us and passes us the keys. The team make their way up to the rooms, except for Leanna, who remains seated. I sit back down next to Leanna. Hey, are you sure you're okay? She sighs deeply.
I'm just worried about going home.
What did the letter say? Leanna doesn't respond. My stomach clenches. Is it really that bad? She doesn't look at me, but hands me the scroll. I blink surprised. Are you sure you're okay with me reading it? She nods. Damn it, I read it! I pause, unsure what I'm about to find. Frowning, I unravel the scroll, revealing large, swoopy, elegant handwriting. I hate cursive because you can't read it. The same sunrise sigil is stamped next to the signature at the bottom. Dear Leanna, it is of urgent matter that you return home as soon as you are able. Leon has also been summoned. Best regards, Father. Who's Leon?
Oh, my older brother.
Oni-chan! I'm sorry. Oh, right. The other Mage Knight in the Dawn family. She shares some comfortable at my mention of other, but not. The letter was pretty vague. I'd probably be imagining the worst, too. I put a comforting arm around her. It might not be as bad as you think. Leanna shakes her head.
It's not that. I'm surprised and curious by the letter, but I think it'd sound a lot worse if something bad happened.
Then what are you worried about?
My family, they don't...
She sucks in a deep breath.
They don't exactly know that I'm a Mage Knight.
Oh, what a rebel! What? How come her family doesn't know about something so important to her? What do your parents think you're doing then?
They think I'm just a mage working as a researcher.
Why haven't you told them? You've accomplished so much. I'm sure they'd be proud of you.
They wouldn't. My parents are very traditional. Being a Mage Knight isn't exactly normal for a girl.
They should be more supportive. I mean, it's 2022. If you're not supportive of something, then you're bound to be cancelled. Because that's kind of how the world runs now. It must be really frustrating to have parents who aren't accepting of who you are.
Don't get me wrong, I love my parents. In other ways, they've been very supportive and accepting of me.
Sure, but this is your passion. It's a big part of who you are. It's unfortunate you're afraid to tell because you're afraid they won't accept you. She toys with the hem of her skirt. Oh, how
I
cute.
just don't want them to be disappointed in me.
I mean, you have the powers to kick ass, arrest people, and you probably have more skill than most mages. Why are you disappointed? No wonder she's so worried about facing them. Either way, I'll be here to support you. She flashes me a generous smile and squeezes my hand.
Speaking of which, do you think you can also keep our relationship a secret?
A secret? I'll try, but no one can escape the burning fire of our love. I'll do my best to keep it a secret. Yeah, that's a deep breath.
Thank you.
A smirk flutters across my face. But of course, my arm shakes around her shoulders, pulling her close. Our love for each other kindles with the flame of 1,000 suns. I cannot promise they won't notice our burning passion.
Burning passion?
Yep, if they stand too close to us, they may become scorched. She's not trying to look back. I'm gonna use that.
Scorched?
That's right. She tries to hold a serious face, but the facade cracks. She turns away, laughing into her hand. Or perhaps just mildly sunburned.
You're so crazy.
She shakes her head amused. It makes sense. I don't want to pressure Leanna to do it, so she isn't ready to. It's best to respect her and her situation.
Thank you.
She snuggles into my side. Ah, we're getting cuddles.
I
Delightful.
really appreciate it.
I wrap my arm around her. Oh, it's nothing. I can keep a secret. She smiles, eyelids drooping. She yawns and snuggles deeper into my chest. Ah, finally getting sleepy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Also, a little secret. If a woman can snuggle into your chest like that, I mean, you're doing good. And then they will live there and you will never be able to sleep without your chest with head on the chest and you are trying to breathe. A small chuckle puffs out of me. It's getting late. Even so, I don't want to move.
Yeah,
She groans.
just a few more minutes.
She clings tighter to me. Ah,
Please.
sounds good to me. I pull her closer to me and feel her smile beside me. She asks a few questions about what my family's like, and I tell her some stories. She tells me more about her older brother and how close they are. It isn't until the fire in the lobby crackles louder, water bursting within the wood, did I realize I had fallen asleep. I looked down and noticed that Leanna had drifted off too. She's curled at my side still. Leanna, she stirs.
Hmm?
Come on, it's time to go to bed. My eyelids feel like they're being weighed down by maple syrup. Strange description, but I force myself to stay awake. She sighs deeply, then reluctantly lifts her head. Hand in hand, we walk up the stairs before separating into our respective rooms. As soon as my head hits the pillow, I fall into a deep sleep, a smile on my face. Why aren't you guys sharing a bed by this point? Like, seriously, just put Zach with Kara, and... Yeah, what about Amelia? She will literally sabotage either room. I naturally wake up the next day. I guess I'm finally starting to get used to these early days and early nights. Zach is already awake. He nods a morning greeting. After getting ready, we head downstairs where the girls wait for us. We grab a quick breakfast, then head out into the city. Ooh, pretty. I take one last look at the ocean. Goodbye, gentle ocean breeze. Leanna leads the way towards her hometown. I can't help but wonder what her family's like. Are they anything like Leanna? Will they like me? Around midday, we take a break from traveling. At least, everyone else gets to have a break. Leanna pulls me aside for a training session. No rest for the wicked. She leads me out onto the field and we begin our normal regimen. Our blades clash against each other, the wind augmenting our speed and abilities. Fighting with her feels like a blur, a dance. It's easier to keep up with her, but Leanna still proves to be a challenging opponent.
Wow, you guys are fast.
I am the wind. I tried to see Karen, ever sitting on the sidelines, watching.
Hey!
I whirl back around and Leanna swings. I yelp, barely blocking the blow in time. Leanna grins.
Eyes on the battle.
Right. Still, the sight of Amelia sitting with the other sparks an idea in my head. Amy and I have been practicing fire magic. Leanna doesn't know that, and I can use that to my advantage. Leanna begins to swing her blade again, like usual. I draw upon the magic within me, feel it gather in my palm. As she moves to strike, I let loose a fireball and sending it flying straight towards her. Our reflexes kick in, and she cuts the ball in half, blowing the fire out. The flames harmlessly lick in the air as it snuffs out the existence. She freezes, shocked.
Fire magic? How is that possible?
Zach, Karen, and the Pango are equally surprised.
Am I still sleeping, or did he just cast something that wasn't wind magic?
That's crazy. When did you learn to do that?
Ha! My smugness broadens. It's all thanks to Amy.
That is correct. We have been meeting late in the night to practice on each other.
Leanna's eyes widened. She was to face Amy, completely red.
Wait, what?
He has told me he has left each night feeling quite satisfied.
Oh, Amy, no!
What?
The face! The anger! Whoa, whoa! Wait a minute. Emilia remains stoic as ever, but she seems confused by Leanna's reaction.
I do not understand your surprise. In truth, we have shared many sessions together.
What?
Wind growls around her form, rounding on me. She means training sessions? My voice squeaks like I've been struck puberty all over again. I show up, my hand, my fingers still sizzling and smoking with flames. We've been training for magic. Leanna calms down as the wind dissipates around her.
Oh, right.
You have an odd way of wording things, Amy.
Amelia doesn't seem to hear Zach's comment. Instead, she taps her chin and thought.
I am quite pleased to see you cast another element so naturally. It seems our training together has been of use after all.
Yeah, it's getting easier every time I cast.
The fact that you have mastered another element so quickly is very impressive. Truly, your growth has been established at an accelerated rate.
Watch out, a new mage caster is in town. Soon I'll be outcasting even you. Amelia doesn't even blink.
That is correct. The reservoir of energy stored within you cannot be matched by any crystal sphere.
If you thought that was cool though, just you wait till you see me cast all of the elements. Once Amy and I figured out the connection between emotion and casting, I've been secretly practicing summoning of elements by channeling what I felt when the element transferred me her power. I've been able to cast both water and earth magic too. Look at me, I am a proper avatar.
What? Really?
I see. I suppose it would be natural for you to discover the casting methods for the remaining elements too.
Sounds like a demonstration's in order.
Right now?
Unless you can't actually summon all the elements.
I scoff and take a step back, readying myself. Almost instinctively, I first channel wind magic. I've been doing it for so long now it feels like second nature. Next, I materialized a ball of fire next to the ball of wind. The fire eagerly laps at the wind. Focusing my concentration, I remember the tranquility of the Earth Temple and create a shield of earth. Cool liquid forms on my fingertips as I summon water. With all the elements in hand, I mold them into their own ball of energy and let them loose into the sky. Now what would happen if I combine them? I summon a fireball and add wind magic to it. The fire eagerly eats at the added oxygen, swelling twice in size in an instant. Whoa! I drop concentration as I try not to burn myself. Maybe I should try something else. I bring up an earthen shield and ice it over with water magic, summoning wind magic. I funnel the energy into a small whirlwind and slowly add fire to it. Then I launch it at the frozen shield. The ice fizzles beneath the fire's heat, and the shield blasts a bit. My friends duck to avoid the shrapnel. Sorry! My breathing starts to become labored and sweat beads on my temple. I wonder what would happen if I tried to combine all of the elements at once. I tried to mush all the elements into one ball of energy, but my knees give out. Ugh. The magic winks out as I slide to the grass. My chest struggles for breath, and I gulp in the air in short gasps. My muscles burn as if I just finished a weight training session instead of a magic training session. Leanna rushes over to me, her brows furrowed in concern.
Are you okay?
She frantically checks me, making sure that I haven't suffered any internal injuries when I fell. I give her a calming smile, but she doesn't seem convinced. Yeah, Kara looks nervous.
Maybe you don't try that again for a while.
Amelia tilts her head.
A curious reaction, but one which is unsurprising.
I remember the warning she gave me about using up a high amount of energy at once. I used too much energy again, didn't I? If this keeps up, I'm never going to be able to open a rip to go back home. How do we move past this?
Casting magic is just like building any other muscle or skill. The more you practice, the stronger your ability to cast multiple elements will become.
I guess I'm going to need a lot more training, huh?
Indeed.
Our eyes lock. A light sparks behind Amy's eyes, and I feel a smile slowly rise on my lips. I feel like there's a deep understanding between us that wasn't there before. Leanna's face is still creased with worry.
Right. Just stay here for a while, okay? You need your rest. We can take care of cleaning up the camp.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
Boy.
The Pango bounces into my arms. He snuggles up to me, trying to comfort me.
Boy.
I smile and pat him on the head. I'm starting to feel better already. The others leave me to rest, and I hear a small sound. What was that? Something shifts from the corner of my eye. I blink and lift my head. A pink Pango hops from the edge of the forest. She pauses, looking around. Ah, another Pango. I wonder if she's lost. My Pango perks up in my lap. Could it be? Could it be true love at first sight? The pink Pango blinks. She tilts her head.
Boy.
My Pango's cheek dust pink against his blue. Look at it, it's so cute. They're so happy, and she has a little bow. His eyes shimmer with wonder. Is this love at first sight? My Pango blinks and shakes his head, snapping out of his trance. He bounds up to her. Hey. She smiles shyly.
Boy.
Hey, she says. Oh. No, that's not what he said. Which Cranks quickly transformed into a lewd grin.
Boy.
Oh no. The pink Pango scrunches up her little face in disgust.
Boy.
Pig. That's exactly what she said. In a flash, she scampers away. Although my Pango tries to stop her, he's too late, and she disappears from view. The face of heartbreak. He waits and then slumps. He shrinks about 2 inches, absolutely crestfallen. Let's cheer him up. Hey, little guy, are you alright? His body, heavier than usual, deflates. He face flops. Words today. He flops face first to the ground like a glob of ice cream. His voice is muffled against the grass. This music is so dramatic. Oh no, I've never seen him like this. I pat him on the head. It's okay. We've all been rejected at some point. He snaps at me. Okay, maybe he's not really looking for advice. I pause and look around, trying to think of something. Sunlight glints off my gauntlet. I blink and glance down at it. Wait, I have an idea. The Pango looks up the sound of me filling my gauntlet. It takes me a few minutes to pry the crystal out, but when I do, I smile and extend it to him. I don't really need any more, so I'd like for you to have it. That's literally just giving him a tub of ice cream. The Pango's eyes go wide. He sits up. For me? A huge delighted grin spreads across his face. He leaps between my neck and shoulder, nuzzling me. He's cold against my skin, making me laugh and squirm. I lift the crystal to him, and his mouth chomps over it. He leaps down and hops away, content with his new treasure.
You came on too strong.
Zach's voice stalls me. Look around. The group has already finished cleaning up the camp, and he is standing beside me. Kara shakes her head disappointedly.
Doesn't matter the species, there's always one thing on their mind.
Amelia pats the Pango on the head.
Do not fret. One day, you will find a mate with exceptional eyes and exquisite roundness.
Exquisite roundness. Liana smiles encouragingly. Speaking of Pangos and relationships, how do Pangos mate anyway? Kara gives me a pointed look.
See? One-track mind.
Liana gives me a disapproving look. Zach just shakes his head.
I think now's about as good a time as any to head out.
But how? They're like blobs. How do blobs produce more blobs?
Agreed.
They avoided the question. Still feeling the lingering effects of my cast, we make slow time, but continue our journey towards Turf Dawn. Yes. After about 4 more days of travel, we soon see the buildings casting tall shadows over the gates of Half Dawn. The wrought iron gates have intricately curled cast iron tips. I can already tell that this place is more extravagant than any other town we've passed through. The guards look us over as we approach, but when they see Liana, they nod deeply.
Welcome back, my lady.
My lady.
Yes.
Are you like a princess? Liana blushes deeply as she stammers out a reply. The guards bow slightly as Liana hurries us through. Tips fedora, milady. It looks like chivalry isn't dead. I pretend to tip my fedora and then give a flourishing bow. Milady? Liana's face is beet red as she quickly pulls me up.
Stop that.
Liana hurries ahead and leads us through finely cobbled streets. The shop fronts are all neatly trimmed with respectable potted plants and other small decorations. The signs all have various elegantly looping letters. I feel like I've just stepped into a Jane Austen novel. Amelia follows closely behind, clutching the pango to her chest. She surveys her surrounding with silent interest. Kara flashes Zack a playful smile.
My lord.
No.
Oh, come on. Won't you at least offer me your arm?
Why? You always just take it anyway.
Because it's more gentle means to offer? She pouts.
You don't have a romantic bone in your body.
She tugs on Zack's arm anyway. He doesn't resist, and soon the two of them catch up. The further we travel through town, more people seek to recognize Liana and give her the same polite greeting. She nervously responds, trying to downplay the attention. Okay, now it's starting to be weird. I exchange confused glances with my team. Finally, we reach a deserted area of town. A smile returned to her face as she recognizes the shops and streets which we traveled. Although she doesn't talk about how much, I can tell she's happy to be back. Our boots crunch under white gravel as we turn into a long, tree-lined drive. Lush green lawns and colourful gardens sweep from the road to the estate. Oh, she's a fancy place. The estate is dazzling white, maybe 4 or 5 stories tall. A large fountain sits before it, the water spraying and glittering in the sunlight. Beyond the mansion and Framelestein are the mountains and the brilliant blue sky. I will give credit to the artists. They have done some amazing backdrops. Kara's eyes go wide.
Whoa.
Damn.
Damn.
The architecture for this building is quite exquisite. Would this be the town hall or mayoral house, perhaps?
Liana twists her skirt nervously.
Not quite.
What is this? What is it? As if on cue, a small woman with simple clothes and the plaited hair passes by. She nearly drops the bag she's carrying when she sees Liana and dips into a low curtsy.
Milady, you returned home.
Oh, we're going to England now all of a sudden.
Home?
You grew up in style, huh?
She's a princess. Liana's cheeks flame.
It's nothing.
Yes, are you a princess? Liana, you did tell me you're a princess! Liana flushes peony. Liana flushes peony pink.
Because I'm not.
Hell, excuse me, princess. Oh, that is from something. That is a reference. I could get used to living like this now. I kind of want to sweep her off her feet. I scoop her into my arms and carry her princess style.
Hey!
Liana throws her arms around my neck in surprise and holds on.
What are you doing?
You'll always be a princess in my eyes.
Then I royally decree you to put me down.
Quickly, I set her back on her feet. Liana sucks in a breath. It seems like all of our excitement has got her flustered.
Let's just get going.
As you say, milady. We follow her up to the gravel road. As we get closer to the fountain, I notice the same sigil on Liana's letter is engraved in the stone. The waterworks run from the sapphire swan. And the pango's eyes go wide.
Boy, boy, boy.
Play. He squirms out of my scarf and leaps for the fountain before landing in a big splash. I think he is just cannibal right there. The Pangle burbles happily in the water as he continues to splash around, pretending to be a fish.
Aww.
Leanna rushes over to the fountain and gives the Pango a little tickle. He giggles happy little bubbles.
I wish I could save this moment forever.
Shall I go and fetch the portrait master?
No. That won't be necessary.
Their own portrait master too. Just how rich are these people?
As you wish, my lady. I shall go and alert your father of your return.
She curtsies again and hurries towards the mansion.
So that just happened.
I think you left out a few important details, which would have been nice to know.
Indeed. If we had prior notice of your noble heritage, perhaps we could have made more appropriate preparations on our presentation.
Presentation?
Yes, such as our choice of dress.
She looks pointedly at Kara.
I dress very appropriately for my profession.
Exactly. What is a rogue if the tits aren't half out and there's more skin than clothing? We just stare at her. She crosses her arms.
Well, it's a little too late for that now.
Don't worry about it. We'll just go in and I'll say hi to my parents and I'm sure we'll be out in no time. Come on.
Leanna leads us to the front door. She reaches up to a golden door knocker and pounds twice. The double doors fly open. An older man greets us with a warm smile.
Lady Liana?
Oh! Scroggins Wigglesworth. What a name.
Scrogens! It's good to see you're still doing well.
The butler, or Scrogens, as it were, bows at the waist.
Lady Liana, how good to see you. Your father...
He trails off, eyeing her clothing.
My lady, what are you wearing?
Huh?
She glances down at her white armor. Horror flashes across her face as she squeaks.
Oh, this old thing?
It's a new uniform for mage researchers. Scrogens frowns.
Sir, please forgive my impudence. However, I do recognize the uniform of a mage knight when I see one. After all, we do have a mage knight within the House of Dawn.
His voice rings with pride. Oh, Scrogens, if you only knew.
Pay him no mind, Scrogens. Now, where is my father?
Leanna adeptly avoids answering, the air of authority in her voice silencing Scrogens. He's unconvinced, but lets the subject drop. He clears his throat.
As I was saying, my lady, your father is in an important meeting.
Leanna
I
frowns.
see. And my brother?
Your brother will not arrive until this evening. And the rooms are not yet prepared.
Oh.
My most profound apologies. You and your...
He pauses. His gaze travels from Zach's weather trench coat, Amelia's school uniform, and Kara's skimpy outfit. He sees the sword strapped to my back and arches an eyebrow.
Guests are more than welcome to wait here, if you so please.
You know, this is a good point. I should probably use this in D&D. Like, you arrive at this fancy place and you see that you are currently in disrepair.
No, thank you.
Her answer is unusually firm. Even Scrogens looks surprised.
Of course, as your lady pleases.
Leanna looks a little uncomfortable.
How do you guys feel if I show you around town instead?
I'd be down for that.
That's a good idea. I'd be interested to explore where Lady Liana grew up.
It's just Leanna.
Kara giggles, but Scrogens looks on disapprovingly.
Lady Liana, we would be happy to provide someone to show your friends the town. However, we do request your presence here at the house.
Oh? How come?
It was requested by your mother that should you return, she'd like your opinion on the preparations for this evening.
Leanna sighs, but nods.
Thank you, my lady.
He bows and disappears into the mansion. Leanna sighs again and turns to face us.
Sorry about that.
The burden of being a princess, hmm?
Haha, say, princess. Leanna shoots her a look, but Kara merely smirks.
Are you going to be okay on your own?
It will be no different from when we explore any other unfamiliar town.
With a short goodbye, Liana twirls around and enters the mansion, shutting the crystal doors shut behind her. We head back towards town. So, what's the plan now?
I think I'm going to go to the marketplace. What about you, Zach?
Oh, probably go to the...
Kara interrupts him.
I don't know why I asked. What about you, Amy?
She looks thoughtful.
Perhaps I will search for a library.
Sounds about right.
We make our way down the gravel path until we arrive back into town. We'll split off and head in different ways. Ooh, I wonder where I'm going. What do I feel like doing? You know, I'd like to spend some more time with Liana, but they don't want me to. I should find Zach. We've not had a good bro time for a while. Zach, wait up! He pauses as I catch up, and we silently find the inn. When we arrive, I start to head towards the bounty board, but Zach sits down at a table instead. Okay, this is a bit different, but I'll go with it. I sit down too. We order a round of drinks, but when they arrive, Zach doesn't touch his, seemingly lost in thought. Everything okay? He doesn't say anything. His hands tighten around his mug. Ooh, serious talk.
Yeah, I've just been thinking.
I sit up straighter. Oh? I pause, waiting for him to continue. About what?
My parents.
Oh. Zach is actually confiding in me? This feels like a whole new level of trust in our friendship. I get that. Sometimes I think about my parents too. I wonder what they're doing. If they're thinking about me.
It's a bit different for me. I became an orphan when I was really young. I don't remember my real parents that much. But I do remember the sense of warmth and security I had with them. I know that they loved me. They were good to me.
He hesitates, searching for the word.
After they were taken from me, I guess I always hunted for that feeling of being accepted and wanted.
Yeah. I kind of begin to imagine what Zach has gone through.
Damon gave me that.
His throat bobs. He takes a heavy drink. After a moment, he shakes his head.
Bear was already a part of the group when I joined. He had been there for a full year. Damon looked after the both of us. Since I couldn't remember my real father that much, I always looked up to Damon. He was like a father to me. I thought he was like a father to Bear too, but...
His grip tightens around his mug again.
We all loved Damon. Everyone in that group supported each other like a real family. To know that Bear could betray us like that.
His words feel heavy. They hang in the air, and I'm not sure what to do, so I reach over and claps a hand over his shoulder. I'm really sorry, man.
Thanks. It's all over now anyway.
He trails off. Do we consider his feelings or do we drink? Let's consider his feelings.
Sorry. I didn't mean to get all serious.
No, it's completely fine. You've gone through a lot. Sometimes it's better to just let it all out.
Thanks.
What are friends for? A small smile tugs at his lips.
Seriously though, if it weren't for you guys, this whole fair business would have been a whole lot worse. So, thanks.
Ah, look, he's happy with us. You're welcome. We fall into a comfortable silence. Zach seems more at ease now. I think he's starting to finally make sense of his past. Zach takes a few more sips of his drink. I eventually get up to stretch out my legs. I think I'm gonna go walk around outside for a bit. You wanna join?
I've got a bounty board to check.
There's the Zach we know. He grins and I match it before saying my goodbyes. Alright, so as I leave the inn, I feel comfortable knowing that that Zach's feeling more like his usual self. Okay, there we go. Got there in the end. I make my way back into town and ponder my next move. Let's find Kara. Let's see if she's gonna find a dress. I haven't hung out with Kara in a while. I wonder what she's up to. I eventually find her in the marketplace with the Pango. Ooh, that's it. She holds up a nice shirt. Hey, Kara.
Oh, hey.
She absent-mindedly greets me, then faces the Pango.
What do you think about this?
So we're gonna get boy.
Oh, you really think so?
The Pango jumps up and down.
Boy.
Kara glances at the shirt again and then frowns.
I don't know. Might be too fancy for his tastes.
Oh, she tries to look nice for Zach. She puts it back where she found it.
Oh,
She gestures towards a tent that's selling genuine-looking swords. Some of them are decorated with jewels.
what about one of those? Those are nice, right?
The Pango nods in agreement.
On second thought, I don't know. He's not really a sword guy. There's a stall selling sweets and desserts. Everyone likes those, right?
Boy.
Kara plants a hand on her hip.
Are you just agreeing with everything I say?
It's the safest move. The Pango grins as he bounces even higher than before. Yes.
That's not very helpful.
I stifle a laugh. I guess the Pango isn't the best shopping buddy. What are you looking for?
A gift for Zach. But he's a lot harder to shop for than I thought. And the little blue guy here is not helping.
Boy.
She looks thoughtful as she turns back to me.
Hey, so you're a guy. What do you think Zach would want?
Something with guns. Leather comes in as many as 50 shades. Oh no. Or socks. Let's see. Well, Zach has guns. Zach is not a kinky type. She's the kinky type, so I mean it would certainly appeal to him. I mean socks. Socks are a generic thing you can do for any man. But socks is boring. Let's go with leather. Comes in many shades. Zach likes leather.
Yeah, but he already has a trench coat.
That's not the only leather thing he has.
Oh?
I would have assumed you'd seen it, given how close you two are. Kara's eyes widen.
He's shown you that too?
Wait, what?
What?
I was going to say he also has a little belt.
That's funny. I was going to say the same thing.
Wait.
And he knows how to use it.
Oh, she winks. A shudder ripples through me. That is not something I want to imagine. Kara laughs at my discomfort. The Pango looks back and forth between us, then grins. Kara taps her chin and forward.
Zach is really attached to his dischargers. So maybe...
She lights up.
Oh, I know!
What?
Come on, I have an idea.
We're off. Kara leads me to a different section of the shop that has another man at the counter. He's surrounded by trinkets and toys.
Hello, how can I help you?
I'm looking for wind rings.
Wind rings?
Of course, right this way.
What's a wind ring? It shows a sphere.
Here it is.
I don't get it.
It's a game. You shoot targets.
Oh, what targets? It's just a sphere.
The targets are activated by wind magic. See that button on the top? You press it and the sphere shoots out energy rings which go in 6 different directions. You have to try to shoot within the target.
Oh, that is like the best thing you could get him. That's pretty neat, actually.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. This game is pretty popular.
I'm, not from around here.
This comes with an underpowered wind discharger. You won't find a better deal anywhere else.
I'll take it.
Boy.
Boy. Kara beams after purchasing the game. Her eyes zone to a location with silken garments.
Oh, those look pretty.
She starts to head to that section of the store. I begin to follow when she stops me.
You might not want to go in there.
Why not? She points to the side that clearly reads Vicky's Mysteries. I take a longer look inside the store and notice the bras hanging off the shelf. Oh. Leanna probably wouldn't be happy to hear I went underwear shopping with Kara. I think I'll go walk around town, actually.
I'll catch up with everyone later.
She's gone to the ladies' side of the store. I'm about to scoop the Pango, but he follows Kara inside. That little pervert. Yeah, that Pango is a pervert. Oh well. I make my way out the shop and back into the center of town. Let's see. Let's go to Amelia. Remember Amy mentioned she'd seek out a library. I circle around the town and to my surprise, find one. After making a lap inside, I don't find Amelia. I wonder where she could be. I made my way towards the marketplace where seems to be the biggest crowd. As I passed the bookstore, I recognized Amelia's cloak. Huh, I haven't read a good book in a while. What Amy's going to pick out? Probably a history book or some non-fiction. Hey! She stops and turns around.
Oh, greetings.
Salutations and greetings, ally.
Hello, hello. What can I interest you in today?
Who the heck are you? We're just browsing. Amelia flips through one of the books.
The pictures are quite fascinating. They are unlike any text I've seen before.
Is she reading a comic?
These are character books.
Character books? Character books?
Yes.
He flips through one of the books. They look like comic books with panels of hand-drawn characters speaking in thought bubbles. At a glance, as I glance at the novel Amy's looking at, I notice they're all the same art style. These look like the mangas we have back home. And Amy blinks.
I see. And those are fictional narratives.
Yeah. She hesitates and continues flipping through it. I'm surprised you're still checking these out. I would expect you to be the type to be interested in manga.
In truth, I have never read one.
I could help you find something that you might like.
That would be appreciated. What do you recommend?
Magical girls, pretty boys, anything with robots. Hentai! Let's see. I mean, she's technically a magical girl. Anything with robots. To be fair, some mecha manga is actually pretty good. Well, you know what? Robots might be the best because she likes science and all that stuff. She's obviously oblivious to relationships, so boys, I don't know, maybe she's got a hidden... we'll go pretty boys. I really don't know what girls read. They like stuff about guys, right? I select a manga of a group, and they seductively hold out a rose. Maybe try this one.
What is interesting about this one?
It's got a bunch of hot guys on it. That's what girls like. I read a bit of the text. And vampires. Girls dig that too.
Is that so?
She looks thoughtful. Amy accepts my suggestion and approaches the
I
salesman.
would like to purchase this novel.
Excellent choice.
She turns to me.
Are you also purchasing a character book?
Sure. Sure, why not? I'm not buying an anti-book. Yeah, one of these did catch my eyes. I pick out one of the manga and pay for it. Salmon places our book into 2 separate bags. I'm excited to dive into a new manga. It's been a long time.
Thank you for helping me choose the perfect fictional narrative.
Hope you enjoy it.
I have spent much time in leisure. I should make productive use of this free time and see if there's any research or reading I could do on either the Shadow Temple or Void to help us with our imminent battle.
That makes sense. I'll leave you to it then. She nods and we separate, going our different ways. Let's go to Leanna. I like to spend more time with Leanna. Maybe I'll go see what Leanna's doing. She's probably done with whatever she has to do by now. I retrace my steps back to the mansion. It's not hard to miss. It's sparkling white, sitting on top of a hill, overlooking the entire town. I soon make it back to the estate. Man, I love this background. A servant shows me inside and leads me to the crystal patio doors, opening to reveal a magnificent courtyard. Hey.
Oh, hey!
Leanna looks surprised to see me, but not unhappy.
What are you doing here?
I just thought I'd come by and see if you needed any help.
Thanks, but I'm alright. Give me 1 second, okay?
She disappears into the mansion. I take a moment to look at the courtyard. There's a maze of hedges in the middle of the garden. Surrounding it are bushes of flowers. The petals add a dash of color and mist the green, like a pastel rainbow. After a few minutes, Leanna emerges.
Follow me.
She grabs my hand and leads me further into the courtyard. Where are we going?
I want to show you something.
We twist through the maze of neatly trimmed hedges. The flowers sway as we pass through them, as if waving hello. Finally, we pause in front of a gnarled tree.
This is where I spent most of my childhood.
By this tree?
Yep. Well, the whole courtyard, really. My brother and I would play hide and seek in the maze when we were younger. Sometimes I'd hide when my parents wanted me to do something I didn't want to do. Scrogans would spend hours trying to find me. I got really good at hiding and was able to sneakily move to a new spot if I knew he was coming close.
What a rebel. Do my ears deceive me? Leanna used to break the rules instead of enforce them. She laughs playfully and nudges me.
You're overreacting. I'm pretty sure every kid was like that.
Yeah. I was an angel. I speak for yourself. I was a perfect little angel. Leanna doubles over with laughter. Wow, thanks.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh, but
Another giggle bursts out.
it's a bit hard to imagine.
So what's the story behind this tree? Her face lights
My
up.
brother and I would train here.
Train?
Yes, in sword fighting.
Oh. She knows the surprise in my
Why
voice.
do you seem surprised?
I don't know, I just assumed you did all your training at the academy.
It was proper for my brother to be trained in combat. I would often sneak here to watch him, and sometimes he'd teach me in secret. When my parents discovered I wanted to learn, they let me. I'm not entirely sure why. They're usually pretty strict about things, but I guess they felt like it wouldn't really matter either way.
At least you got the opportunity. She nods and places a hand affectionately on the tree. I step closer and notice the nicks along the bark. Casualties from their sword practice, I assume. Sounds like you and your brother have always been close too. She brightens again at the mention of him.
Yeah, he's a bit older than I am, so he's always looking out for me. Even when I was little, if father was angry with me, my brother would take the brunt of the anger to try to protect me.
She turns to me, the light dancing in her eyes.
I'm nervous, but I'm also very excited to see him again. It's been too long.
Suddenly, a sly smile spreads across her face.
Follow me.
Again?
Come on!
She grabs my hand and steers me deeper into the gardens. Where are we going now? And she giggles.
You'll see!
Woohoo! Leanna pushes some of the greenery, revealing a small gap. It looks like it may have been bigger before, but it's been overgrown. What's this? Her blue eyes twinkle.
So impatient. Come on!
We squeeze our way through, having to bend low to avoid hitting our head. Some skinny branches scratch on my skin. After a while, Leanna pushes aside even more branches and leaves. After a soft breeze, laced with a scent of something floral, caresses my face. She leads me into a tiny grassy area surrounded by trees. They remind me of weeping willows, except the branches bloom with long streams of sky blue flowers. They weave over us like a canopy, blocking out most of the sky and sunlight. Some golden beams are able to filter through, but the flowers are fluffy and thick. I let out a small breath. This is beautiful.
Yeah,
The branches sigh. Streams of blue blooms flutter in the breeze. Whew. I need a drink soon. Leanna reaches up to touch one, her fingers lingering at the end.
if I ever wanted to be alone, or not have the servants find me, I'd go here.
She's smiling, but her voice is as soft as the flowers. She meets my eyes and then blushes, looking away. Why did you want to be alone? She
I
hesitates.
struggled a lot with what I wanted to do, and what my parents wanted me to do. I didn't want to disappoint them, but there were so many things they wanted me to do I felt was pointless.
Like what?
Like embroidery lessons.
Her voice raises in frustration.
Those stupid tiny stitches! Do you know how many times I pricked my fingers because of that? And it's not even useful sewing, like mending clothes. It's literally just for decoration. But a lady embroiders. And so my mother insisted that I do so too.
Let the frustration all out. I had the idea you've been holding on to that for so long. She looks surprised.
Me neither.
Well, let it out. What else are you angry about?
Corsets. What's so bad about letting a lady breathe?
There are a few leaves sticking up in her hair from the shrubs. I smile, reaching to pluck them out. Leanna meets my gaze and blushes. A few sapphire petals had fallen to her hair. I brush those away too. My fingers slide down the end of her blonde locks, and I twirl the curl of her hair in. Leanna smiles bashful. Kiss the girl. Time seems to slow as I gaze into her eyes. The peacefulness of the gardens fill me with the courage. I know Leanna wants to keep us a secret, but we're finally alone. Her eyes search my own, and I feel myself drowning in her crystal blue eyes. In this moment, everything feels perfect. I wrap my arms around her and pull her close. She loops her arms around my neck, sealing the distance between us. I lean down and place a gentle kiss on her lips. She responds eagerly, pressing against me, deepening the kiss. I feel her hunger for me as I taste the sweetness of her lips. How do people read this? This is cringe. Her fingers run through my hair as I leave a trail of kisses along her neck. Her breath catches each time my lips touch her skin. And then a faint voice, someone calling.
Lady Liana!
We freeze.
Lady Liana!
The voice rises higher.
Lady Liana, where have you gone?
Oh no!
Liana's face blisters. She wiggles until I release her.
Better go.
Based on what you said, we still got a few hours before he finds us. I try to pull her back, but she escapes my grasp.
It's time to go.
She smooths out her hair and skirt. I sigh. Alright. I go to follow her, but Liana stops me.
Wait! We can't leave together.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, it's gonna be suspicious. Why? Liana blushes.
Guys, just wait here for a little bit. I'll go back first, and then once there's been enough time, then you can follow.
Okay. She smooths out her hair and skirt one more time. She was about to leave when she suddenly turns back around. She plants a quick peck on my cheek and flashes me a smile, then leaves. I wait for about 10 or 15 minutes before finally making my way through the garden. I get lost a few times in the maze, but eventually find my way back out. As I return to the main estate, I decide to go back to town and see what else is going on. And I think I'll finally spend me some time. I went around town checking out the shops and the sights. Not too different from most other places we visited so far, although I do notice how clean and well kept the place is. Once the sun begins to dip in the sky, I head back towards the mansion. The sky is streaked with rosy pinks and soft golds. A few silver stars twinkle in the mist. I meet up with my friends in the front of Liana's estate. We start our way up the gravel path again. The Pango sits on my shoulder as Kara walks next to Zach.
I wonder what Liana's family is like.
I am most curious to meet them as well.
Hoi!
I bet they're more traditional minded. I think they have a more traditional look on life.
Oh yeah? What makes you say that?
Just a hunch. We make our way up the massive stone staircase leading to the front door. Scroggins answers the door again. Scroggins?
Welcome back.
Scroggins.
Please do come in.
We carefully file through the doorway and into the front hall. My breath catches as I look around. A massive chandelier made of sparkling crystal hangs from the center of a high ceiling. The marble floor shines at my feet, so polished they look wet. Long halls stretch ahead to countless doors. A bouquet of flowers sits atop of a whole table, and a magnificent staircase sweeps in the center of the room. Amy cranes her neck, her eyes wide as she looks around. Zach looks appreciatively at the decorative swords on the wall.
Whoa.
Hoi!
Pango's eyes glitter up at the crystal chandelier. His mouth seems to water just looking at him.
Hoi, boy!
I give him a gentle poke, snapping him out of it.
Hoi!
I shake my head. He deflates, pouting against my shoulder. Liana arrives and gives us a worried smile.
How was your time in town?
Great! There were so many cute things at the shops.
I'm glad.
She twists her hands nervously and falls quiet again. How have things been going here?
Oh, fine.
I wait for her to continue. She looks blankly at me, then seems to remember.
Oh, dinner will be ready in a few minutes, if you all want to wash up first.
We exchange glances.
Are you sure you're okay? Did you get a chance to see your parents?
Well, no. I mean, I'm fine. But I haven't seen my parents yet. But that's okay, because Leo hasn't arrived yet. And I guess my father has some big news that he insists on sharing with both of us. Well, actually, if we're about to eat dinner, then I think that means Leo probably has arrived?
The words pour out of her mouth as she can't control them. She finally pauses to catch her breath. I've never seen her this nervous before. Don't worry, I'm sure everything will be alright. She nods and takes a deep breath to calm herself, and gives me an appreciative smile.
You're right. I'm sure you're right.
She leads us towards our rooms to wash up. We each have separate rooms, a testament just how large this mansion is. My room has eggshell blue walls trimmed with silver. Curtains flutter in the soft filled with plush-looking blankets and pillows. I cannot wait to dive into that. Instead, I quickly wash up using the wide basin. It's shaped like a seashell. Then meet the others downstairs. It sounds like a hotel. Leanna waits for us again. I look up and down and blink in surprise. Why are you still wearing your armor? She blinks.
What else would I be wearing?
I thought your family didn't know about you being a mage knight.
They don't, but
She hesitates.
I don't want to keep it a secret from them anymore.
Is that why you're so nervous?
It's a big reason I am. I'm not sure how they'll react.
Kara puts a cozy hand on Leanna's arm.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Your family loves you.
Leanna nods. She smiles to reassure us, but she still creases her brow. Squidgens her eyes. He looks surprised at Leanna. I think he expected her to change her clothes as well. But he doesn't say anything. Instead, he leads us to the dining hall. A heavily scent hits me in the face as soon as I enter. A long table fills the room full of delicious-looking food. Steam wafts from lamb chops, chicken, bread, lobster, vegetables. Now I'm getting hungry. My stomach rumbles. This looks like it's going to be the best meal I've ever had. A young man clad in sparkling white armor stands in front of a huge crystal window. He looks to be a few years older than Leanna. His back is straight, and he holds his head high, exuding an air of regality and authority. He seems to be absorbed in thought and doesn't notice our arrival. Leanna beams.
Leo!
It's Leo. Her brother looks up from the window. When he notices Leanna, a wave of surprise flickers across his face.
Leah? This is a surprise.
Leo and Leah.
Did Father call upon you too?
Leanna nods. She walks over to him and hesitates. He pauses, then opens his arm wide. They embrace each other tightly, but only for a brief moment before separating. Leon adjusts his armor, and his brows wrinkle as he looks at Leanna. Leanna notices his expression and worriedly smooths down her armor.
Some things have changed since we last saw each other.
I see that.
His voice is flat and hard to read. Leanna squirms under his gaze.
This does explain why you were always out of town whenever I would be in Illumia. And here I was thinking you were just trying to skip out on work.
His face remains expressionless, but Leanna relaxes and a genuine smile graces her lips.
Sorry about that. Duty calls, as you know.
I do indeed.
Judging by Leanna's body language, Leon must be accepting of her decision to be a mage knight. He doesn't seem too surprised by this fact either. Probably because of all the sword training and the two of them did together when they were younger. I know she didn't have to be worried. Leon's face softens.
Do Mother and Father know?
Leanna shakes her head, the worry returning to her face. Leon looks grim. He finally seems to notice us.
Oh, you brought company.
Yes!
Leanna introduces... words are today difficult for me. Leanna introduces each of us. He greets us warmly.
I hope you've all been keeping her out of trouble. I know how much of a handful she can be.
It's exhausting taking care of her. Tell me about it. It's exhausting having to take care of her.
Nobody has to take care of me.
Uh-huh. I steal a glance at Leon to indicate, yes we do. He grins good-naturedly. As if on cue, the big doors creak open.
The Lord and Lady Dawn.
A beautiful older woman stands there, her arms linked with whom I'm assuming is her husband. Loose golden curls fall at her shoulder. Her smile delicate and soft. She's wearing an elegant gold-flowered blue crown and a sparkling jewels. Leanna's father has a strong jaw and Leanna's blue eyes. His hair is also blonde, but the temples are peppered with silver. Leon marches over to his parents and offers them a short bow.
Mother? Father?
Leon.
That's not blonde, that's brown. His father nods. Oh no, he had the blue eyes, it's the mother at the... Okay. His father nods as Leon straightens. His eyes sparkling with pride. He clasps his son on the shoulder.
You look fine as always. Still doing that armor justice.
Thank you, Father.
His mother smiles warmly and envelops him in her.
Oh, Leon! It's been too long. You don't come home enough.
She's got that generic older lady vibe. Just insert Stacy's mom playing right now.
I'm sorry, Mother. I wish I could, but...
I know. I'm just being fussy. It's good to see you home again.
Thank you.
Throughout this interaction, Leanna hangs back. Her father's gaze lands on her, and his eyes harden.
Liana, what in the blazes are you wearing?
The room falls silent as everyone's attention fixes on her.
Leanna?
Leanna holds her head high.
Hello, Mother. Father.
She dips in a small curtsy.
Is this another one of your little fantasies?
His tone is less stern and more one of confusion. Leanna swiftly glances at her husband in concern before looking back at Leanna.
Perhaps you should wear something a bit more appropriate for dinner, dear.
No, Mother. This is the armor I chose to wear as a mage knight.
Leanna's voice rings clearly, but I can see her hands trembling. Again, there is a pause. I hold my breath. The tension makes the airfield kick. Finally, Lord Dawn huffs.
Well, no matter. That is something which will be addressed later. For now, your mother and I have some news. Please, let's all be seated.
He and his wife sit at the head of the table, with Leanna and Leon on either side of them. The rest of us silently fill in the empty seats.
Leanna, dear, you haven't introduced us to your...
Of course. Mother, Father, these are my companions. They are accompanying me on one of the assignments the Mage Guild has instructed me to investigate, as a mage knight.
The mother and father ignores the last bit of the sentence.
We welcome you into our home.
Thank you. It is an honor.
Your hospitality is much appreciated.
Thanks.
Thank you. Lord Dawn gives us a curious look.
And are you all colleagues from the Mage Guild?
No, Amy is a student mage caster from the Mage Academy.
Both of Leanna's parents look impressed.
A mage caster at such a young age. You must be very extraordinary.
Indeed. Your parents must be quite proud. That is not an easy achievement to reach, no matter the age.
Thank you for your kind words.
Leanna introduces Zack and Karen next, but hesitates when she gets to me. I'm me, and... I'm ready to be a mage knight too. I've been studying how to be a mage knight from Leanna. Her parents' expressions...
And what exactly have you been studying?
She's taught me sword fighting and how to cast.
Those two skills alone do not make a mage knight.
And she's also taught me how to do things simultaneously. His gaze shifts to Leanna and his frown deepens. Knowing how her family feels about being a mage knight, I wanted to stick up for Leanna, but I think I might have just made things worse. Oh no, that's the goal. We're gonna be a mage knight. Yes, we're paladins now. Once introductions are over, we begin to eat. We sit in silence for a while. The only sound is the clinking of silverware. Leanna takes a bite of her stew. She smiles and sighs, practically melting in her chair.
Nothing can compare to the food from home.
Her mother looks delighted.
Do you like it, dear?
Yes, of course. It tastes just the way I remember.
I'm happy to hear that.
Your mother insisted on cooking it herself, even though I told her that's what we hire the chefs to do.
You didn't have to do that.
I know, dear, but I remembered how much you enjoyed it when you were little.
Thank you.
Leanna's smile broadens as she takes another bite. Leanna takes a bite of the roast.
And was this your doing too, Mother?
She smiles and puts a hand over her husband's.
Actually, he was your father.
Both Leanna and Leon look at their father with surprise. Color stains Lord Dawn's cheeks.
It's not often we have the family together again, and with such good news, too.
Leanna and her brother exchange glances. Relief seems to pour into Leanna's face. At least it's good news.
What news, Father?
His parents glance at each other, then Lady Dawn clasps her hands together, flushing with enthusiasm.
Leanna, we have found you an excellent partner. You are to be engaged as soon as possible.
I knew it. I knew that was the reason. I didn't want to say because it was obvious, but yeah. The entire dining room freezes.
What?
Her father beams.
Come now, Liana, don't act so surprised. We've been waiting for this day for a long time now. And we're pleased to announce your engagement to the House of Pennington.
Well, that just sounds stupid. Leanna's face is wide with shock. The room spins. I feel dizzy. Panic spikes my chest. It's hard to breathe. Leanna's getting engaged? Zack nudges me in the ribs hard. I jerk, willing to face him. He gives me a pointed look. I better get my act together. How can I? They just announced my girlfriend is to be engaged. I grab my goblet, taking huge, desperate gulps to calm myself. Leon's brows furrow. He frowns. His gaze snapping between me and Leanna.
Duke Pennington? He has to be at least 60 years old!
Her mother laughs.
Oh, my dear, of course not the Duke. That would be incredibly inappropriate. You're to be married to his son, Edward. You remember him, right? He was a bit of a skinny child, but he's grown into a very handsome man.
Leanna seems as if she's in a daze.
Engaged?
Yes, dear. He'd been away for a long time, but he's finally returned home. He's a very talented water mage. That's why he was called abroad, actually. They needed his talents.
Leon nods again along to his witnesses.
I think I remember Edward. He's a nice man, if I recall. Has a soft spot for children.
Yes, exactly. Of course. We wouldn't set you up with anyone less than the best.
While Lady Dawn chats excitedly, Lord Dawn watches Leanna with hawk eyes.
Liana,
She snaps back to attention.
Huh? I mean, yes, Father?
you don't seem to be very excited. Do you hear what we're saying?
Yes, Father. I hear you.
Her voice is eerily calm.
However, I don't accept the engagement.
Her parents stare at her, stunned. Leanna looks back and forth from Leanna to his parents. His eyes seem to implore Leanna.
What do you mean you don't accept it? My dear, it's a very real thing that's happening.
I don't accept it. I'm not ready to be married yet.
Then you better find a way to get ready, because you will be married.
Ooh, ominous music. Anger creeps into his voice and Leanna flinches.
I just need some more time. You sprang this upon me with no warning. How did you expect me to react?
I expected you to act reasonably and accept your responsibility as a member of the Dawn family.
I understand my responsibility, Father. And I'm not saying I refuse to ever be married, but I need more time.
Now, what could you possibly need more time for?
To live my life!
The anger behind Leanna's words briefly signs her father. His face turns red as his anger boils. Leanna takes this moment to try to intervene.
Father, perhaps the engagement can be postponed.
He shoots his son a cutting look.
Unless there is a reasonable explanation as to why this engagement should be postponed, I expect her to fulfill her duties as a Lady of House Dawn.
He slams his fist on the table, rattling the silverware.
There's more to me than just being Lady of House Dawn. I'm a mage knight. Something you said a woman could never be.
I will hear no more of this. A lady cannot be a mage knight.
Yeah, just like that. Leanna's mother tries to calm her husband.
Darling, please. I'm sure she'll come around to the idea. After all, we raised her to be proper and to keep the family proud.
I won't, Mother. Not if it means I can no longer be a mage knight.
Lady Dawn looks at her daughter with a mixture of exhaustion and hurt.
Leanna, dear, please be reasonable. We can't always follow the whims of our fantasies. We have certain responsibilities which must be met.
Exactly. Why can't you be more like Leon? He understands his place in this family.
If I were in her place, I would refuse too.
His parents recoil at his words as if he'd been cut down with a knife. Leanna blinks in surprise and smiles softly, appreciative of his support.
Leon, what are you saying?
Father, I am putting into practice what you've always taught me. Family comes first.
Then why have you chosen to go against the family?
I haven't. I support the marriage prospect you've chosen for Leanna, but it is clear she does not want this. If being a mage knight makes her happy, then why can't we support her? She's already graduated from the program and earned her title and admission into the Mage Guild. These are no small accomplishments.
Lord Dawn's chair screeches as he pushes himself away from the table.
I have never been more disappointed in my children.
I could probably kick your ass. He turns and leaves with a flourish of his cloak.
Darling, wait!
Ah, there's something sinister about him. Something's happening. Nobles are always evil. There's gotta be something with him. Lady Dawn shoots one last look of frustration towards her children and rushes after her husband. Leon stands up and brushes himself off. He gives Leanna a sympathetic look, then walks after his parents, leaving us in silence. Leanna crumples in her seat, holding her head in her hands. I'm gonna stay quiet on this one because she was so brave. Awkward. Let's go with brave. Leanna. She looks at me with tired eyes. What you did back there was really brave. It takes guts to stand up to what you want.
No change will ever be effected if the status quo is not challenged.
Exactly.
Your dad's kind of scary when he's angry.
Leanna flashes us a weak smile.
Thanks, guys. I'm so sorry you guys had to sit through that. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this.
You don't have to apologize. She pushes herself to her feet.
We should leave. We need to stop Void. And clearly there's nothing else to discuss here.
Maybe we should stay the night.
Why? You saw what my parents are like.
I know.
Kara's voice is soft and careful.
I know. But I really think we should stay. Give them time to think about it. Especially your dad. Who knows? Maybe things will smooth over in the morning.
I doubt it. He's so stubborn.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do. After all, you know your family best. I just know that if my dad were still here, I wouldn't want things to end like that. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if that was the last interaction I had with him.
Leanna stands with her arms crossed and thinking about Kara's words. Her muscles are taut, eyes still bright with tears. Finally she nods. Her muscles unwind and she slumps a little.
You're right.
Kara smiles slightly. She pats Leanna on the arm.
Just give them time. You never know.
Leanna huffs out a deep sigh.
Yeah.
She doesn't sound too convinced.
I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to turn in early. I need some time to think.
Zach rises to a stand.
I think I'm ready for bed too.
We all agree. Slowly we get to our feet and follow Leanna out of the dining room. She leads us up the stairs to the hall of our rooms. As I reach my room, Zach pauses in my doorway.
You good?
His voice startles me. Yeah, why?
It was pretty tense back there. And I know how close you two are.
I nod. Yeah. Can't imagine what Leanna's feeling right now.
Same.
I feel Leanna's pain, but also her anger. But I also feel sorry for myself, too. Which is the worst part, because none of this shit centered around me. But when I heard that she was going to be engaged, I felt like someone took a sledgehammer and pounded my heart to pieces. Don't worry about what Leanna will decide. Even if she doesn't get married today, why not in the future? She's still full of her family's wishes. The words vomit out of me, but Zach listens patiently. When I'm done, he puts a comforting hand on my shoulder. Somehow that gesture calms me more than words would have. Zach starts to head over to his room.
Rest on it. It'll be better in the morning.
Thanks. I close the door behind me and try to get settled. I hold the blankets up and close my eyes, but sleep eludes me. I toss and turn, but I can't seem to get comfortable. My mind starts to wander. Memories from tonight's dinner begin to flash through my head. Should I have done something? Said something? It was clear Leanna didn't want to do this. And the very thought of her marrying someone else? I let out a growl of frustration, rolling onto my stomach and throwing the pillow over my head. What was I going to do if Leanna decided to go through with this? Would her parents sway her to their side? Then what? The thought of Leanna never being able to go on missions again or do what she loves? Maybe I should check on her. Feeling restless, I tiptoe out of my room and over to Leanna's. Gently I knock on the door. The door almost opens immediately. Leanna? She bites her lip.
Hey.
Her eyes are a little red and puffy, as though she's been crying. I wanted to see if you were doing okay. She shrugs, glancing at the ground.
Do you want to come in?
Yeah. She steps aside and closes the door behind me. My heart twists. I hate seeing Leanna so upset like this. Pretty rude. She flops down on her bed. Her voice is low and tired.
I just don't know what to do. I feel so torn.
She shakes her head.
I've always respected my parents' wishes. I've always done what's expected and followed my duty.
She lets out a shuddering breath.
But this is the one thing I don't think I can do, even though it's the most important.
I stroke her back, not saying anything, listening. Leanna seems to relax slightly under my touch.
What do you think I should do?
Okay. So, I think it's going to be the top one. You should do whatever you want. If you listen to your parents, that's following the nobility's path, doing as you're told and following tradition, which in most cultures and such is important. Tradition is very important for many, many things around the world. But arranged marriages, it's kind of outdated. So it's not a good thing anymore. I am not conflicted on this. You should do whatever you want. I don't understand why you care so much about that. You should just do what you want. Leanna frowns.
I can't do whatever I want. I have responsibilities.
Yeah, but you can still do your own thing. Leanna's frowns deep.
No, I really can't. I have to honor them.
Honoring your parents and obeying everything they tell you to do are two different things. Her brows crinkle forward. Finally, she shakes her head.
I think we just have two different ideas about this. But thank you for your opinion anyway. I really appreciate you telling me what you think.
I don't think that necessarily the answer she wants to hear, but at least I was honest enough to give her my opinion. I'm sure no matter what you decide to do, everything will turn out okay. Alice smiles at me, the gentle flow from her crystal lamps embracing her, leaving her in a soft daffodil glow.
I'm so lucky to have someone like you.
Hey, where did that come from? She looks down.
It must be really hard for you to talk about this stuff with me.
I'll admit that it's not easy to think about the fact that we might not be together, but ultimately, I care about your happiness. She softens and gives me a kiss on the cheek.
That's one of the things I like about you.
She smiles again.
Among many other things.
Hey, that face. I smile back. She seems to be a bit more relaxed after talking. I'm glad. Maybe she'll get some sleep. It's getting pretty late. I should go back. She nods and walks me to the
Thanks for checking up on me.
Of course, I was worried about you. I stroke her cheek and she leans into my touch. Gently, I tip her face towards me. She gazes at me with half-lidded eyes as she closes them. I press my lips against hers. Breathlessly, we pull away. She steals another quick kiss and then opens the door.
Good night.
Good night. The door closes behind me. I turn around and nearly run straight into Leon. Oh. My stomach knots, but I try to keep my cool. Hello? He's changed into more comfortable clothing, but it doesn't look like he's gone to bed yet. What's he still doing up?
I'm pretty sure your room is further down the hall.
He cocks his head, green eyes twinkling with amusement. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm heading. What are you still doing up? He laughs and crosses his arms.
I woke up and wanted a glass of water. The real question is, what were you doing in my sister's room so late at night?
To say good to my bestest friend. I wasn't in there. She was looking for some advice. There's no point in lying. We didn't do anything wrong. Leanna wanted some advice. Leon blinks.
Oh.
I don't think he expected me to straightforward my answer.
I see.
His face changes into a compassionate but worried smile.
I'm sure everything will work out. My father tends to be a bit stubborn at times, but I know he cares about us. He just needs a while to think about it.
I know, but really not what to say. He's right. I hope the parents can go a little easier on him and Leon taps his chin forward.
Still, sneaking around this late at night, someone could get the wrong impression. You should be more careful.
Thanks. Your expression is unreal. I fight the urge to squirm and force myself to sing on. I made it through the conversation so far, that's a few more minutes. He finally cracks a smile.
Well, I'm off to bed. Sleep well.
Right, you too. He turns away, strolls down the hallway to his room. Did he have a glass of water? That's the most important question. I hurried back to my room and closed the door, letting out a deep breath of relief. I'm so glad that was over. Leon was definitely suspicious. I slip under the covers and crawl into bed. Maybe it was because I'm all wound up from all the stress, but this time, sleep finds me quickly. Well, that was definitely... Actually, let me just... never mind. There we go. Whew, that was a long one, wasn't it? That was a long one. So, it seems things are getting quite dramatic within the party. Especially between my waifu there. Well, I won't keep you guys waiting for the next episode, don't you worry. So, you all leave a like, leave a comment, give a sub if you're not sub, because it means the world to me. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye, and love you all.